This is a classic stylistic matchup between a reactive counterpuncher and a volume-based pressure fighter. The outcome will likely hinge on timing versus activity and efficiency versus output. Dubois breakdown. Dubois is the more technically layered fighter in this matchup. Her game is built around speed, timing, and movement rather than raw aggression. She has fast hands, which allow her to capitalize on openings quickly, especially when opponents overcommit. Her head movement and defensive awareness are also notable. She sees punches coming and reacts well, even if her defense isn't always tight in close quarters. Her footwork is one of her biggest advantages. She moves well laterally, doesn't stay on the center line for long, and is comfortable darting in and out of range. This makes her difficult to track, especially for a more linear fighter like Harper. Offensively, Dubois carries heavy punches, but not true knockout power. She accumulates damage rather than ending fights suddenly. Her preferred weapon is the right hook counter, which she throws when opponents step in recklessly. This fits her identity as a counterpuncher first, rather than a volume striker. However, she does have flaws. Her defense in the pocket is questionable. When exchanges get tight, she can be hit clean. While her conditioning is solid, she has shown signs of fading in later rounds, particularly if forced into a higher pace than she prefers. She also tends to stay engaged rather than disengage, which can expose her if the opponent is effective inside. Overall, Dubois thrives when she can control distance, draw attacks, and respond with sharp counters. Harper breakdown. Harper is almost the stylistic opposite. She is a work-rate fighter, relying on volume punching, conditioning, and persistence to win rounds. Her biggest strength is her engine. She maintains a steady output and can keep throwing consistently throughout the fight. This allows her to build momentum and potentially overwhelm opponents who can't match her activity. In the pocket, Harper is actually quite solid. She's comfortable exchanging. She throws hooks effectively at close range. Her defense in tight is relatively good. However, one of her critical flaws is her habit of disengaging, even when she has the upper hand inside. This breaks her own rhythm and allows opponents to reset, something that could be especially costly against a counterpuncher like Dubois. At range, Harper's weaknesses become more pronounced. Poor defense from distance, she's hittable coming in, predictable offense, heavily reliant on the 1-2 combination, very little variation, no body work, minimal angles, and almost no lateral movement. She moves in a linear, straight-line fashion, making her easier to read and time. Additionally, she lacks power to deter opponents, hand speed, and overall speed, a counterpunching game. Her entries can also be inconsistent. She can dart in but doesn't reliably exit cleanly, which leaves her open to counters. In short, Harper wins rounds through activity, not precision, but that approach has clear vulnerabilities against someone who thrives on mistakes. Key fight dynamics. 1. Countering versus volume. Dubois will likely allow Harper to initiate exchanges, looking to exploit her predictable entries. Harper's constant 1-2 combinations could become a liability, as Dubois will have repeated opportunities to time and counter, especially with the right hook. This fits her identity as a counterpuncher first, rather than a volume striker. 2. Distance versus pocket fighting. Harper may find her best success in the pocket, where Dubois' defense is weakest. However, her tendency to disengage, even when she's winning there, will likely prevent her from sustaining that advantage. Dubois, meanwhile, will aim to keep the fight at mid-range, where she can see punches coming and respond cleanly. 3. Movement versus linearity. Dubois' lateral movement contrasts sharply with Harper's linear approach. This means Dubois will be harder to trap, while Harper will be easier to line up for counters. 4. Efficiency versus output. Harper will almost certainly throw more punches, but Dubois' shots are likely to be cleaner, more visible, and better timed, which tends to score more effectively with judges. 5. Conditioning factor. If Harper can push a relentless pace, she may test Dubois' tendency to fade late. However, this depends on her ability to maintain pressure without resetting unnecessarily, which, based on her habits, is questionable. Fight flow. Expected. Early rounds will likely see Harper pressing forward, throwing volume, and trying to establish rhythm with her jab and 1-2s. Dubois will take a measured approach, reading patterns and beginning to land counters. As the fight progresses, Dubois should start timing Harper more consistently. Harper's entries will become increasingly predictable, and Dubois will capitalize with clean countershots. In the middle rounds, Harper may have moments of success in the pocket, but her habit of disengaging will prevent her from building sustained dominance there. In the later rounds, if Dubois slows slightly, Harper's volume could increase, but unless she significantly adjusts her approach, she will continue to be picked off with cleaner shots. Final prediction. This fight is very likely to go the distance. Neither fighter has the power to secure a knockout, and both rely more on accumulation and scoring than finishing ability. Harper's volume will keep her competitive on the scorecards, but her predictability, lack of variety, and disengagement habits will limit her effectiveness. Dubois, with her superior timing, movement, and counterpunching, should land the more clean, eye-catching shots throughout the fight. Final prediction. Dubois wins by unanimous decision, earning the nod from judges through cleaner, more effective counterpunching despite being outthrown in total volume.